All right, welcome back, everybody. So this is going to be part two of the floor install. I'm going to show you a few things that I learned, a few things that I found out, a few things that will make things easier. I did have some help, so a friend of mine had given me some pointers, things he had done in the past. But let me turn this around. I'll show you guys where I'm at here. All right, so as you can see, I got the passenger side half basically just mocked in there. And I did have the driver's side half in here too. Okay, one of the things that I figured out really fast, pretty much the biggest issue I've been having actually. So I replaced this bracket here, okay, and I did it on this side too after I did the rockers. So that bracket mounts up right to the bottom of this pan. It fits just right. So what I did was I put it up there, put it against the rocker, put the 2 screws in, and that's where I tack welded it just to hold it. Now, problem I ran into, if you see back here, these original holes here, they're not lining up, okay? So basically what was explained to me is these pans are 61 through 64. On, I think 63 and 64, they'll line right up. Not on a 62. So, what, and this whole floor I had put in with just a few self-tapping screws to hold it in place. I have the front just held up there at that lip with some vice grips, hold it in place. It's basically test fitting everything. But this is where I messed up. Okay, so this middle bracket here I left in place. It was good, I left it in place. Now these are black now. I wire wheeled them all down. I came back and hit them with this rust converter, which is actually pretty cool because it goes on clear, but as it works, it turns it black. So these pieces actually are not even painted. They're just rust converter. Before I seal it all up, I'm going to spray that Rust-Oleum rust reformer in there too, just to kind of give it a second coat, I guess. Okay, so when those pans are down, I had everything all the way around and in the middle here on this middle seam, so the driver's side overlaps the passenger side. I had everything mocked up with self-tapping screws. While it was down there, I got under there on those brackets, and as you can see on here, this is the bottom side of the driver pan. And what I did was I just lightly sprayed white spray paint, okay, so I could see the layout of those brackets once this is in place. This would be the back one, this is that middle one going forward, and this is the forward one, okay? But now what this allows me to do is to come back and drill me a few holes. I'm gonna drill them close to the edge, maybe a 1/4 inch from the edge. And I'm gonna probably, let's see here, I'm gonna probably on this one, I'll probably do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing here. Here I'll probably go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I may do 1, 1, a couple across there. Now this main bracket here, I can actually put a couple in here. And I'll do the same thing here. But what that's gonna allow me to do is when I put it back in and line it back up with those self-tapping screws, those holes that I drilled are gonna land right on these rails here, okay? And these are where it was factory plug welded. And that's what I'm gonna go back and do. Now where I messed up was this bracket here, okay? When I first took this out, you probably saw my first video. Basically, from here, this normally, or originally, came all the way up, went down, and went flat here, okay? Pretty much about this much of it, about this much of it was just rotted out. It was gone. So I went ahead and cut this off just to get it out. Well, these here I left in place. This bracket I left in place. I never moved this bracket, never moved this. So I know that these are my factory holes. I know that these have not moved. When I set the pan on there with those screws, I was hopeful, but it didn't work out, that those screws would line up, or those holes would line up right here with these. Well, when I put it back on there and I measured it with my seat, it didn't work. They were about an inch off, as you can see. So what I did was I had to go out there and dig and find this piece, and I welded it back together. Now, I know it doesn't look the greatest, I understand, but this here is actually going to be sandwiched in between here and the floor pan, so you never really see it. I'm going to put a couple extra plug welds in it just to hold it, make sure it's good. I got it to where it just barely covers this piece, you know, welded it down, and then while I was, then I put the pan back in, and I sprayed again with these 4 holes, these 2 and these 2 for my original seat mount bolts. And that was these, this one and this one. This one here, this one here, okay? See, I would, let's see, the forward. So this is forward. I was hopeful that this, so that this landed right on that bracket, but it needed to be here. And I was hopeful if that landed there, then my original one would land here, but it didn't, so it was actually shorter. So basically the moral of the story here is, do not cut this bracket if you're not gonna replace it. This is what I'm doing. It's gonna be fine. It's solid, it's sturdy. It'll be fine. Like I said, once I get it up on the rotisserie and flip it up, then I'll run a bead along the other side of it and clean it all up, and it'll look fine. You won't even be able to tell. But it would have been so much less work if I didn't do that. So this side's pretty much done, ready to put the pan back in. I just have to drill my holes here, and I got to punch holes around here so I can plug weld this down that center seam, and I will punch holes down this is the back and along that edge where the rocker pan is, rocker panel. And then I'll actually punch some here too for that toe lip up there. You can kind of see it. But that's where I'm at for now. Just wanted to kind of give you guys an update. I will be getting these in. Like I said, this is part 2. One other thing that I did do, I don't know if you can see it, but right down there, so the forward part of that inner rocker, I'm sorry, the inner part of the forward rocker was starting to rust out too, so I cut out a good section of it and replaced it. This one over here wasn't as bad. That just needs to be cleaned up. Now, I do need to finish up basically making this piece. So this needs to be joined here. If you can see it, this needs to be joined there. That needs to be joined, and then this is all enclosed. Similar to this side. So I do have to go back and do that. But instead of trying to do that on the ground, I thought as long as I can get the inside done, once it's on the rotisserie, I can do that. It'll be kind of like eye level when I flip it up, so it'll make it a lot easier. So that's where we're at. I also did weld in those brackets there, the seat bracket, and that is the bracket for the what do you call it, door panel or whatever, the trim. So those pieces came off of the old floor pans. Save those, cut them out, drill them out, get them out. Those little bottom pieces there, these ones right here, yeah, those are about, I think they're like $60, which I was really surprised that they were that much. But I took my old ones off, and I still have to weld them onto this one. I'm gonna get that done, punch my holes, and get that bracket done on the other side, and then we should be able to start getting this thing in. So we're gonna get after it and get this thing uploaded for you. All right, guys, we're back. So you saw my little, time-lapse video of all the stuff we were doing. Like I said, we were going to weld those brackets on. This one, that one. We welded those on actually to the driver's side. This is the passenger side one here. Passenger side floor. But I showed you how I marked all the brackets on the bottom. You can kind of see it there. Went back and drilled all our holes. Now, you can see from the top, all these holes here, these are my holes for my seat brackets. These are the holes that were already in the pan. We'll be able to clean all that up. But you can see all the holes back there. Now this lip doesn't have any. These are only the holes I used to mock it in there with the other pan. So here's the other pan. We got it done too. I put my little steering wheel, gas pedal knobs, whatever you call them. Got all our holes drilled here. So every one of these is going to be a plug weld now. Got my 2 brackets on. This one's ready to go in, okay? Came back over here to the passenger side. Gabriel was actually taking care of that, my son. What I did was I came and fixed this bracket here. Again, I know it doesn't look the greatest. I get it. Don't roast me too hard. But it'll be fine. Once it's up in the air, like I said, I'll put a bead across the other side of it and clean it up. You won't hardly even be able to tell it's there, okay? This bracket, actually, I cut it a little bit right along that edge there when I was cutting out the pan. So I had to weld that back and fix it. Other than that, it's ready to go, okay? Now, that center piece that covers the drive shaft, okay, this was it. So once I put those brackets in, you can see that this is going to, so you can see here it's recessed. See that? So that part's going to go on top of here. Same thing here, okay? So what I'm doing, this is going to slide in there. You have to measure it, and you see, it slides right in there. Fits right in. So what I'm gonna do is I will actually I'm gonna try to weld this from up here just a little bit. I'm not worried about it looking too great because this is gonna be inside. It's gonna be welded, spot welded up to the floorboard. So I'm not too worried about it. I will spot weld it down, but I will try to weld it here and here on this side here. So I'll basically pick that up, clamp it or whatever and weld it, same thing. And then just like these over here, when I get it in the air and flip it on the rotisserie, I'll run another bead on there too to clean it up and just make sure it's good. So as of right now, there's 3 spots that I need to remember to take care of once it's, 4 spots. Once it's up in the air that I'm just really not messing with right now, which is the back sides of these, okay? The back sides of these, so it's 2 and 3, and then those brackets there. So those are just tack welded in there to where the floor pan sat on here, and then I snug that up to hit the floor pan and tack weld it. So again, those will also get welded better once up in the air. It'll just make it a lot easier to mess with. But, you know, I got 3 tack welds there, 3 tack welds there. So it's all ready to go. But yeah, we're gonna work on getting this welded up and then start trying to get our first floor pan in and tack down and go from there. All right, so here we go. All right, there we go. So had a little camera mishap. I did actually record welding and all that stuff, but I don't know, apparently it didn't work. So, but yeah, got it welded in, welded from the inside. I did not weld on these top lips here because the floor sits there, so I don't want to mess up where the floor is gonna sit. I already sprayed the rust reformer on there. You can see how it's already turning black. Once that dries, I will come back with the rust, whatever it was, the Rust-Oleum rust performer or whatever it's called. Anyways, I'm really just trying to put, you know, a couple coats on it just to prevent anything if I can. But as you can see though, we're ready. Holes are all drilled in the pans. This one, that one. All the braces are good. Everything's prepped. We're ready to drop this thing in. So we're gonna get after it and we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. Well, this floor took a little bit longer than I expected. A lot of learning. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done this. I do have a really good friend that's kind of helping me along the way, giving me some pointers and stuff, which has really helped. I've got the floor in. I actually just finished up a couple little things today. I'm gonna take you through and show you what it looks like. I pushed it out this morning or this afternoon just to get some better light on it for this video. I think it looks good. There's a few little things that will be finished up once get it on the rotisserie, you know, and can weld from under it. But for the most part, it's in there. So let's go take a look at it and see what we got here. All right, so here we are. First and foremost, I think one of the things I would have done now, as far as cost goes, doing the 2 halves like this is a lot cheaper than doing a full pan. Like if you buy the full pan, I want to say it's roughly half price. Problem is, you got to deal with that center seam there, okay? And I was able to get it. It's not the prettiest. Now all of this has been ground down, all my little welds, all my plug welds. You can basically see though, you can see where one brace runs up here. You can see one brace runs here all the way across, goes all the way across. That other one, you can see the brace there. You see the brace there. So, you know, I had showed you how I spray painted the back of those, or the bottom side of those, and that told me where to drill my holes for the plug welds. So now, or then once I got it in here, you know, these are repop floors, so they're not gonna fit perfect. There's some spots where you're gonna have to just beat it into place, man. It doesn't look too bad from under. I went under and kind of looked at it. It's not too bad. We'll see once we flip it up. But yeah, I mean, it's in there. It's solid. I mean, I've been inside of it. My son was in it. We were jumping all on it, make sure everything seemed okay. Everything's ground down now. What I'm gonna do is just basically put a light coat of that rust reformer spray paint on it. Then I got to get the back. So the back, I already cleaned it all out. Swept it and everything. I got to go back. I'm going to go back with a wire wheel, clean all this up, clean it all up from the package tray down. My plan is from this package tray up here all the way down to here, we're going to POR 15. Do the doors, do the sail panels up there, this one back here. We'll do all of that POR 15. The toe board here, right now all I did was put some pretty good welds, tack welds, just to hold it in place for now. You come up here to the front, and I do have like some vice grips there, kind of holding it in place and everything. So it's there, but I decided to put those welds in there just to give it that little extra help. But it's there. You can see, I mean, it was this was a lot of work. I could see why people charge a lot of money to do this, but hey, I mean, you can definitely do it, man. You take the time, don't rush it. You can definitely do this. The only other thing you'll notice back in this corner here, so if you see this, I had to split that because these corners, that corner too, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can zoom into it. That corner too, they did not want to fit in there. The top lip of that goes up to the firewall or whatever, toe board, whatever you want to call that. You know, it's bent out. And that bend goes all the way to the end. Well, it's not going to fit under there, at least on a 62. So these panels are 61 to 64. So a 62, I can tell you, I had to chop off about 3/4 of an inch on this left side, and then on that lip that goes under and supposed to be plug welded where those vice grips were, I had to chop off about 1.5 inches of that. And then I even had to make that cut because it was formed weird. I don't know what it was for, but it wasn't for this car. That one over there, I had to do the same thing. I actually had to chop about, I think on that side, it was about 1 inch from the end. I had to come in because it actually angles in. And if you look at it, you can kind of see it, you know, the floorboard's straight here, but then it does kind of angle in, and it does the same thing on the other side. So that was one thing that I had to do. For the most part though, that was about it. I just set them in there, got them good, you know, sitting right, and held them down with the self-tapping screws and started welding. You know, you don't need no big, huge, high-dollar welder to do it. It's thin metal. But as you can see, it's in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and and weld up these little, spray paint these little spots, and we're gonna move on to the next part of this project. So I appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.